I thought I was some grown ass man.
It makes it better. It's better because it's baby skin. They're not going to stop, nor have they stopped with just simply foreskin. It's the entire baby because it has rejuvenative properties.
Okay, does it work?
So yes, human foreskin has actually been used in growth factors. There's a lot of research on it. It's been shown to increase collagen production. It'll fill in all those lines and wrinkles. And Oprah looks great.
4 days after Elena Castilla died, this memo was sent to the doctor who would perform her autopsy, giving instructions to harvest Elena's organs.
Who are these monsters? Who are these people? I didn't sign no papers. I didn't sign for them to disassemble.
In the letter, signed by Chief Medical Examiner Dr. Sam Andrews, it instructs the doctor to preserve the brain, remove the cervical spine, eyes, and lungs, among other things.
Folks, preserve the brain, the dura mater and the brain. Do you understand this? It's still alive. When you put psychopaths and allow them to get away with it, they will ravage your world.
It's this. Because this is not all of my baby. Because what I'm reading here, this is on my child right here. Remove flesh and preserve the heart. I don't even have raw heart.
Pushing into the skin.
Well, you push in whatever the facialist would like to insert into your pores.
But what is it?
It is an extraction from a piece of skin that came from a young person far, far away, and they somehow figured out how to extract.
It's foreskin from a Korean baby. That's what it is.
No, okay.
Who comes up with this?
I don't.
Look, ladies and gentlemen, they're creating laughter, but this is all just background noise. The audience is not laughing. If the audience were really there, they will beat them to a ground. They will beat them until they are dead. Look, your mortgages, your credit cards, your student loans, sponsors, and directly and indirectly feeds this monster. Now listen to the next one.
What does state-sponsored child abuse look like? Genderqueer in my son's library. Child-on-child oral sex.
The reason why they've pixeled out the book is because if you showed this on YouTube or any other media, it will be taken down and you'll be arrested for posting it. But these books that are telling children that you can accept anal sex from adults and various other things is all there, because the ones that have been perpetrating, the pedophiles, have created magnitude of words to try to escape from the horrors that they are doing. And the doctors, the nurses, nurses are considered to be angels, but they are stuck. They are stuck because they don't know what to do, because so many people are silent.
Pedophilia. A grown man grabbing the penis of an adolescent. Fun home. Cartoons of adult women engaged in vaginal oral sex. Can you see that from here? Because I have blow-ups if you need it. Tantric sex. Coaching oral sex, anal sex, vaginal and penis stimulation, and the desecration of the Star of David.
So at the moment, there is a huge movement in the Jewish community, sponsored and upheld by hundreds of websites that want to bring this to a stop. Okay, and there's more to this than you can imagine. Why they desecrate the Star of David? Well, because they want to desecrate faith. The reason why you have religion and not faith is because that's how religion destroys faith.
Here you see a man with his finger in the vagina of a woman. Do you see that? Push. Graphic detail of a female child repeatedly raped by her father, an African American child, Senator Street. Let me read you an excerpt. This time I know mama know. She know. She bring him to me. I ain't crazy. That stinking hoe give me to him. Probably that was he requires to her, some of me. Got to go where he just come in my room any old time, not just night. He climb on me. Shut up, he say. He slap my ass. You wide as the Mississippi. Don't tell me a little bit of hurt your heifer.
When you give this type of literature to children, you are saying it happens in everyday life, and it's just a simple fact of life that your daddy rapes you and that your mother gives consent. That is how the child, that is how the baby, this is how the non-adult brain interprets this, because they don't have the ability to discriminate. That is why you need to hold children's hands in order to help them cross the road. It's because they cannot judge speeds, they cannot judge distances, they cannot judge what is safe and what is unsafe. They do what you do. They see you run across the road, they do that. And that is the literature that they're putting in to say it happens to everybody else. So you just might as well live with it. I want to make it very clear. Your schools, paraphrasing it, your schools, and I'm paraphrasing, are saying it's perfectly okay for Jews to be killed. And it's perfectly okay because Jews are not men and women. You allowed that to happen in World War II, and they didn't stop Jews, it was Germans themselves as well. That's, German victimology, that's Jewish victimology that they picked up from their own Bible, from their own scriptures, as it were. I've forgotten the name of the Jewish Bible. The point I'm making is the twists and turns that are taking place in your world you're not privy to it, because you're dealing with mechanisms that you don't fully understand. And I've done my best to educate you on how that works. Just watch any of my videos. And I want to make this very clear, and I'm not boasting. There is nothing on the surface of this planet that comes anywhere near from the works that I do. When David Way Miller set all this in free flow with his quantum language and how the language works that control your behavior, the world of contracts, consent, agreements, etc. You have a mortgage. You have a death pledge in place for a reason. You understand? And the reason why they want to kill your babies in hospital rather than home, because in hospital they can organ harvest while the man, the girl, the little boy, the little baby is still alive. You cannot organ harvest with painkillers. They have to be alive. You cannot remove organs that are already dead. Do you understand this? This is not a story of Frankenstein where the body is dug up, 6 weeks later or 2 weeks later or even 10 hours later, 3 hours later on the morgue table. They have to be alive for organ transplant, organ harvesting to take place. So the hospital makes money from it. There are quite literally hundreds of videos that explain this. On the black of moral blackmail, and just think about it, you as a female, you actually have the ability to control your own reproductive cycle at will. You can also control the moment of conception by will, whether you're going to get pregnant or not. They didn't tell you that. They got you to believe it's a misfortune of nature or by design. A woman has full control over her body. They never explained that. But nevertheless, the anti-abortion people, that's all created. You see how it works. The anti-abortion movement in the US and Canada is massive. And parallel with that, they're saying that it's perfectly okay for you to take your life at whatever level. That's called your freedom to reproduce. They've got control of your ability to either be pregnant, if you are pregnant, what to do with that baby, and they can take that baby away from you anytime that they want. The hell that's coming to you is the hell that is coming to you. And if you protest it, you've given it power. Let's get into a little bit more detail. The law recognizes that a young person may reach this stage before they are 18 years old. I'm asking, what is the age of mature minor? But there is no specific age when a young person may be significantly mature and capable of making their own decisions. These young people are referred to as mature minors. Minors quite literally means people that can't make their own decision. That's why they use words like persons, sufficient, mature, etc. Nowhere does it say people. And you've got to appreciate what I'm saying. People are not persons and persons are not people. Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen, is your financial ticket out of this, just as the contracts are the way out of it in Miller's technology and my teachings as well. Listen to this speech and you will understand it. It's from Fountainhead. Before I even was born, this movie was made. And the Atlas Society is now championing Bitcoin. There is only going to be one currency. That's Bitcoin. We did an immense study on it. We did a training program on it. And it's all on my website. How Bitcoin works, why it works, etc. But you listen to the speech.
First man discovered how to make fire. He was probably burned at the stake he had taught his brothers to light, but he left them a gift they had not conceived, and he lifted darkness off the earth. Throughout the centuries, there were men who took first steps down new roads, armed with nothing but their own vision. The great creators, the thinkers, the artists, the scientists, the inventors, stood alone against the men of their time. Every new thought was opposed, every new invention was denounced. But the men of unborrowed vision went ahead. They fought, they suffered, and they paid, but they won. No creator was prompted by a desire to please his brothers. His brothers hated the gift he offered. His truth was his only motive. His work was his only goal. His work, not those who used it. His creation, not the benefits others derived from it. The creation which gave form to his truth. He held his truth above all things and against all men. He went ahead, whether others agreed with him or not, with his integrity as his only banner. He served nothing and no one. He lived for himself. And only by living for himself was he able to achieve the things which are the glory of mankind. Such is the nature of achievement. Man cannot survive except through his mind. He comes on earth unarmed. His brain is his only weapon. But the mind is an attribute of the individual. There is no such thing as a collective brain. The man who thinks must think and act on his own. The reasoning mind cannot work under any form of compulsion. It cannot be subordinated to the needs, opinions, or wishes of others. It is not an object of sacrifice. The Creator stands on his own judgment. The parasite follows the opinions of others. The Creator thinks. The parasite copies. The Creator produces. The parasite loots. The Creator's concern is the conquest of nature. The parasite's concern is the conquest of man. The Creator requires independence. He neither serves nor rules. He deals with men by free exchange and voluntary choice. The parasite seeks power. He wants to bind all men together in common action and common slavery. He claims that man is only a tool for the use of others, that he must think as they think, act as they act, and live in selfless, joyless servitude to any need but his own. Look at history. Everything we have, every great achievement has come from the independent work of some independent mind. Every horror and destruction came from attempts to force men into a herd of brainless, soulless robots without personal rights, without personal ambition, without will, hope, or dignity. It is an ancient conflict. It has another name: the individual against the collective. Our country, the noblest country in the history of men, was based on the principle of independence.